Greetings, my friends. Hope this day finds you safe, healthy, happy, and thriving, doing whatever it is you're doing to the best of your ability and just enjoying the hell out of it. Hope it's a great day. It's a Thursday, terrific Thursday, a tremendous Thursday. Any other T words you can think of out there? So let's get started here right away. Let's go to our old friend Dr. Ernest Holmes and see what he has to say for us today. Let's just open up right in the middle of the book here, see what we get. The kingdom of God, the glory of God is here and now. I am forever part of its being. The perfect law of God is now operating in my affairs. There is no strain, stress, or fear in my life. I am in the presence of radiant joy, of divine love, and perfect power. And so it is. That's a pretty direct, straight and to the point one, recognizing and knowing that there is only God in, around, and through each and every single one of us. That's all there is God, right? That's a great message from Dr. Holmes. So, like I said, hope you're having a great day. I wanted to talk today about inspiration and motivation. We had our spiritual circle that I've talked about a few times just a couple of nights ago on Tuesday night. And we do it once a month. And we cover a lot of time zones. We've got one couple in Hawaii, although they're moving back to Colorado. We've got there's 9 of us, and I guess 7 of us now are in Colorado, and Lisa and I are in North Carolina. So we're scattered about. Anyway, Lisa was the facilitator this week. That's funny. And we just take turns being the facilitator. We just kind of decide who's going to do it. Whoever feels called to do it, we do it that way. And Lisa was the facilitator, and she chose something that she found in Dr. Wayne Dyer's book, Inspiration, which is a book that I have had, I think, probably ever since it was published, which I don't know when it was. And I've never read the book. It's one of those books, you bought it because it was Wayne, because I'd read so many of his other books, and I bought the book, and it's just been sitting on the shelf, and Lisa picked it up and started reading it, and she found this thing about inspiration and motivation. And then yesterday on kind of looking at social media, I came across something about from the Japanese, some practices that the Japanese do, a half a dozen practices from the Japanese that are really all about being motivated and inspired. Now, Wayne Dyer, I think he did an amazing job of talking about motivation, inspiration in one sentence. He said, motivation is an idea that we grab a hold of and we decide we're going to take it to the end. That's motivation. Inspiration is an idea that grabs a hold of us and then motivates us to follow the calling of whatever that is. I love that explanation. It's pretty simple. It's pretty direct. Not a lot of gray area there. It's just I really like how it looks. How it sounds, I'm sorry. So the first Japanese practice is called Ikigai. Something I've heard of before, many times, in fact. But Ikigai is discovering the purpose of your life to find something that makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. And that's something that I have wrestled with my entire adult life. I have come to the conclusion in my life that my Ikigai is a moving target. My life purpose changes on no particular given schedule. It can change monthly, it can change weekly, it can change hourly. And the objective, though, to me is for it to be inspiring enough to motivate you to want to do something about it. By the way, folks, I can see you're out there, and I'm thrilled that you're watching the show. And if you want to ask a question or make a comment, please feel free to do so. I'm always open to have participation. That's kind of a big thing for me as far as anybody participating in the show. So ask a question, make a comment. So that's Ikigai is the first one. The next one is called Kaizen. Kaizen is to focus on the small improvements each and every day. And not to get caught up in wanting to make big changes. I always talked back in the day in my Rewire Your Brain workshop. I always talked about the idea that all of us want to be this different, but very few people are capable of making that leap. But each and every one of us is capable of little incremental steps. Let's start over here. No, let's start over here. Incremental steps, and take a little bit at a time. The old joke about eating an elephant, right? One bite at a time. And that's Kaizen, the idea of just taking it easy, Make your life adjustments as you go. Make them small, make them incremental, but focus on making those small improvements, and that makes a difference. The next one is called the Pomodoro technique, which is this is a great idea. This is something I think we could all make use of because we spend so much time sitting down these days. Especially if you're like me, if you're an entrepreneur and you're working online, you spend a lot of time sitting in front of the computer, and you can get caught up there for hours and hours on end. Or if you're like me, an addicted scroller, God help me, but if you can spend an awful lot of time just sitting scrolling. And the objective here is to work hard at whatever you're doing for 25 minutes and then get up and take a 5-minute break and then go back and work hard for 25 minutes and then take another 5-minute break. The objective is really that because you concentrate your effort and you're coming up to a break, what happens is you wind up accomplishing more in a shorter period of time, which I think that's absolute genius. The Pomodoro technique, I had never really heard of that before. But again, it's about getting a whole hell of a lot more done in less time. The fourth technique here is called Hara Hachibu. I think I did that right. Hara Hachibu. That's what that one's about. Don't stuff yourself with food. This one I do on a regular basis, and this is genius. Okay, when you are eating, first of all, eat slowly. Remember when your mom used to tell you, like, well, maybe your mom did, maybe she didn't. My mom always said, chew your food 21 times. I don't know where the hell she got that. I don't know what reason she gave for wanting us to chew our food 21 times. But the truth of the matter is she was right on the money. Chewing your food 21 times is hugely important to digestion, to getting the most nutrition out of your food, and to also giving your body the time to recognize that it is filling up. Takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to get the signal to your brain that you're full. So if you're eating my habit has always been to eat like a wolf, gulping my food down. If you're doing that, you're stuffed before your brain ever gets the notion that you've had enough to eat. So if you eat more slowly, chew your food 21 times. The objective of, let's get this right, Hara Hachibu is about stop eating when you're 80% full. Now, if you eat slow enough, you'll feel that and you'll know that. And I guarantee you, if you do Hara Hachibu, you will absolutely have more energy. You will feel better. There'll be no need to feel like you unbutton that top button of your pants when you're done eating. You'll just feel good. You'll feel better. I hope you guys that are watching out there, I know you're watching. I can see I can see there are numbers of people watching. I can see where you're watching from, but I don't know if the individual places, because we stream in a half a dozen different places here, or I do anyway for this show. Not all of those places do your comments show up in my feed here on StreamYard. So make a comment, ask a question, please. I'm glad to have you participate. The next piece is called Shoshin, and it is approaching every task like a beginner with the same curiosity as if you were doing it for the first time, which, that's a Buddhist thing, a yogic thing that, beginner's mind. Approach every task like you're doing it for the very first time with a sense of curiosity, with a sense of wanting to explore the doing of it. That is Shoshin. And the sixth one is Wabi-sabi, which is embrace the imperfection. It's instead of stressing over every single little detail, take action. Taking action is better than seeking perfection. Excuse me. That's there's like so many things attached to that one, and I just and I shouldn't have closed my notebook here because I wanted to just want to reference that again. Okay, that's called Wabi-sabi, and it's bottom line is it's embracing the imperfection. I've talked about this before. If you're approaching something new, if you're approaching something that you've not done before, or something you're interested in pursuing, and you're scared of it because you're not very good at it, you've never done it before, dare to suck. That's Wabi-sabi. Is just being okay with the imperfection, embracing the imperfection, and don't get hung up on the actual perfect thing. I'm very guilty of that. I mean, I have a whole training that I have done recently on that I'm taking on up leveling, if you will, my social media presence. And I used to do a lot of Facebook Lives. I used to do Reels. I used to do a few of those things. I've forgotten completely how to do them. So now I'm scared to death. about doing them. And the truth of the matter is, with this course that I'm taking, I need to do them. I have to do them. So that's it. Let's and you know what? And I want to review them because it's I go through all 6 of them here. These are from Japan. These are they actually refer to it as 6 habits to overcome laziness. But as I read it, I was like, this has nothing to do with laziness. It has everything to do with motivation and inspiration. And the first one is Ikigai, which is discovering your purpose and having a reason to get out of bed in the morning. The next one is Kaizen, which is focusing on small improvements as opposed to getting hung up on changing your entire life or changing everything at once. The next one is the Pomodoro technique, which is the idea of working really hard for 25 minutes and getting up for 5 minutes and just relax, walk around, don't sit down. Just do something different than sitting down and working. Okay. The next one is Harahachibu, which is don't stuff yourself. When you're 80% full, stop eating. And that is once again, that's about eating slowly. Chew that food 21 times, just like mommy said. Number 5 is Shoshin. Shoshin is approach every single task like a beginner, that beginner's mind, with curiosity, and approach everything like you're doing it for the first time. And so that you are really experiencing the doing it as opposed to the unconscious doing that most of us get so used to doing when we're doing the same thing over and over again. And the last one is Wabi Sabi, which is embracing the imperfection. Dare to suck. Whatever you're doing, man, just do it and don't worry about the perfectness of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. The other things I was thinking about this week were had to do with the idea of stress. I saw a good friend of mine who's I've been a guest on the show. I'll have her back again soon, I think, is Dr. Dana McGrady. She did a reel, and it was about stress, and she was talking about actually it was more about weight loss. And I think what she was discussing was the idea of stress. When we're stressed, we flood our bodies with cortisol. When we flood our bodies with cortisol, we basically cannot lose weight. And I've got I just had the same 10 pounds I've been trying to lose for, I don't know, 100 years feels like. And I realized that there's a lot of underlying stress in my life that I wasn't really conscious of. Excuse me. One of which is my exercise. Now recognize, exercise, the way you build muscle is to stress the muscles you have and to stress your body. But stress is stress. And there's the cortisol involved in the stress that you create when you are exercising. And another good friend of mine who will be a guest next week, Dr. Erin Lukey, she said to me, she's a doctor of physical therapy. She said, you know what? Try this. She said, you work out every single week. You work out hard. Take a week off and do nothing but your stretching and your yoga. I am 4 days into that, which means I missed 2 of my workouts so far, and I'll miss the third one tomorrow because I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I really do feel, this is interesting, I feel more relaxed. And the other thing is get deeper into my meditation. If you're a meditator, you understand this. If you're not, learn. It is simply the greatest stress reliever on the planet. And I have a whole routine that I do that I call my DSP, my daily spiritual practice. My meditation is a part of that. But this week, I have not always done my entire DSP. I have really focused on just doing my meditation. And that has worked dramatically well for me. It really has helped me a great deal in relaxing and reducing the stress. And the third thing on that is, and we'll go back to Harahachibu, which is the stop eating when you're 80% full. A corollary to that is what my beloved Lisa and I have done every day this week. I think we've done it every day this week, especially it's easier now because of the change of the clocks. It gets darker later, but we go for a walk. And our walk is we can go up and down our block twice, and it's basically right at a half an hour. Half an hour walk after dinner also relieves stress, drops your cortisol. It's great exercise. If you do it after dinner, it helps you digest your food. It moves your body into basically a calorie burning mode as opposed to a calorie storing mode, which some of us might get into. And if you're used to having dinner and plucking your ass down in front of the television set immediately afterwards, you're not burning off any of those calories. So that's another thing. But again, it's a stress reliever, a huge stress reliever. So stop eating, Harahachibu, Stop eating when you're 80% full. Meditate. Go for a walk after dinner. And just and do the what was the Shoshin? Was it no, it's the Pomodoro effect or technique where you get up after every 25 minutes of work, you get up for 5 minutes and do something else. Walk around the building, walk around your house, whatever. Great stuff. The last thing I'll give you on all of that is to read good stuff. Okay. This is, for all intents and purposes, this is my Bible, The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And some of you know who've watched the show before. I read. I'm reading right now 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 books in my stack over there. I think I'm reading 5 of them at the moment. It's a great habit to get into where you can choose what you want to read. I have one of them is for entertainment. The other ones are all about personal development and self-growth. And they're the book I Am by Howard Falco, the Living Untethered by Mark Singer, by Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, the Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter, and the one for entertainment is called Life, and what that is the autobiography of Keith Richards. But I always have this nearby, and I read this most mornings after my meditation or as part of my meditation. Like I said, though, I've been focusing as a stress reliever to not have anything other than just my meditation this week. But I also read from the Daily Stoic. I read their daily little blurbs. I read the Science Mind 365, which is the same thing. And then I read one from, I don't remember the name of it, but I got it from the Unitarian Universalists. It is also a daily guide thing, and it's based on sobriety, which is, I'm finding it an interesting thing to read. Had a discussion about this on Tuesday night with our spiritual circle about my sobriety, which is approaching 38 years here in July. And I got a lot of compliments on it. I got a lot of, the spiritual circle was impressed with my 38 years. It's not that they didn't know beforehand, but they were expressing how impressed they were with my 38 years of sobriety. And I don't think about it. At this point, but less than a year into my sobriety in 1988 and 80, well, less than a year would have been 89, I guess. It just became a way of life. It was no longer something I tried to do. I had no sense and have never had a sense of one day at a time. Now it's just a way of life. I don't think about it. I don't think, and I have no fear of alcohol. I have no, like I've said many times to a lot of people, my beloved Lisa will have a glass of wine and she'll think it's strange tasting or it's delicious or whatever. And I'll have a sip just to get, see what she's enjoying. I don't fear the alcohol. I'm not afraid of it. Years before I met my beloved Lisa, when I was sober, probably 18 years or 17 years, the girl I was dating at the time, we went to her company Christmas party. And we went to a place that was famous for making a gazillion different kinds of martinis. And she and one of her girlfriends from her work decided to try several. Well, the two of them proceeded to get completely ossified. But I had a sip of every single martini. I never, ever, ever had any fear of getting drunk, relapsing, losing my sobriety. That just isn't part of my life. So anyway, the book from the Unitarian Universalist, the daily read for recovery, I just find it interesting. It's not part of my life. It's I almost gave the book back really because I wasn't quite sure what I was doing with it, but I kept it anyway. So those are the things that I do as part of my DSP, my daily spiritual practice. Once again, I can see you guys are out there. If you got a question, if you got a little addition to my thinking here, or if you want to change the subject, be my guest. I'm here. I'm open, and I'm always listening, always welcoming interaction with my audience. So I've mentioned many times I want to get back into the habit of bringing on a guest onto this show. I am bringing on next week a new guest, someone who's never been on the show before. Next Thursday, Dr. Erin Lukey. She is a doctor of physical therapy, but she is a real student of the body and the endocannabinoid system, which is kind of a pet interest of mine. So we'll have a very interesting conversation about that. I'm going to try and reach out to my New Thought musician friends and get them on the show. I'm going to bring back some other people that we've had before who promised me they would come back. One of which I definitely want to bring back is doing some work with refugees in Denver that I really, really, really want to talk to her about. This is important work, and I think it needs to be exposed. So that's pretty much what I got for you today. I want you to always remember that New Thought Media Network is a nonprofit organization. We live and breathe by virtue of your generosity. Please go to ntmedia.org, click on donate, and we are very grateful for anything and everything you bestow upon us. That's newthoughtmedia.org, ntmedia.org. Click on donate. You can find me on my branded Facebook page with my beloved Lisa, Vibrant Aging, which goes obviously hand in hand with this show, Vibrant Living. If you want to send me an email, you can find me at teamrockitnow@gmail.com. The sponsor of this show, always, please remember, is HempWorks, makers of hemp blend coffee. This stuff, hemp infused coffee, this stuff is dynamite. I can drink this in the afternoon. It doesn't keep me awake. It's very good coffee. Got chaga mushroom in there, and there's 5 grams of CBD in every 5 milligrams of CBD in every single cup. And of course, the absolute best, cleanest, purest, most potent CBD products you will find anywhere in the world. We have the largest selection of CBD products that you will find anywhere. Go to hempworks.com/Ken Ludwig. That'll take you right to my page, and just look for the various things we have. Everything from tinctures to things for your dog, for your hair, skincare, you name it, we got it in there. And it's really, really, they're great products. And as I said, the cleanest, most potent ones you'll find anywhere. I have somebody very special commentary here from Mary Dealman, who's actually maiden name is Ludwig, would be one of my sisters. And she says she always appreciates new ideas for healthier living. Thanks. Well, I do my best for healthier living. That's what this is all about. Vibrant Living is about healthier living and living your best life. Once again, that's pretty much what I got for you guys today. I think we got HempWorks, we got Team Rocket, we got. Want to put back up the donate button for New Thought Media Network, and again, we're grateful for anything and everything you give us. As always, I am immensely grateful for the great gift of your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and all the blessings in the universe. I hope you will join me every Thursday at 2:00 Mountain Time, 4:00 Eastern Time. And until the next time, my friends, namaste.